I'm gonna build a whole app in the parking lot of Whole Foods. Let's get into it. Now, first things first, I'm going to actually just go ahead and copy paste my master prompt, my initial prompt, which usually I help people do inside of my Build and Chill program. But for the sake of this, I've already got it prepped and I'm just gonna paste it on into Lovable. And what's cool is there is a build and a plan mode in Lovable. I want this to be in plan mode because I want to make sure that it understands what I want it to build. If you go straight into build, then sometimes there's stuff that's lost in translation. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go, and it's going to start the build. So first, if you're familiar with Claude and it does those little question boxes, Lovable does the same exact thing. And so I love it because, again, clarity is kind. And so what's happening is it's going to build, but it's also going to ask me some questions. So right here you can see, do you already have these things? I have both ready. How should users authenticate the app? Let's do email passwords, traditional. And then for this, it has to do with, are you going to have just one user or is it going to be teams that need this? I'm just going to do one user for now. And then what's the priority for the first implementation? I want full app end to end. And then I'm going to hit submit. So now it's thinking. It may ask me some more questions or it may go ahead and get into the build. Either way, I'm super happy. What's also cool about Lovable is that it actually is built upon Claude Code. And so for those of you who are Claude Code lovers, you're gonna love this app. So it's now creating the plan. And what's cool is we'll put actually the plan in the main section so we can review it. And if you wanna make changes to it, you absolutely can. But for me, let's see what it comes up with. So it says it's a SaaS app that tracks exactly how much revenue each Kit broadcast email generates via ThriveCart using pass-through parameter attribution, single user accounts with email password. So my app is basically connecting Kit and ThriveCart to see what emails are actually making me money in my business. That's the app. And so I figure other Kit users and other ThriveCart users would also want this app. So that is the gist of it. It'll give you kind of some of the techie gobbledygook, if you will. I semi-understand, but I trust Lovable enough to know that it knows what it's doing. Metrics, all that stuff. So say I want to change something, right? Say I actually, instead of just doing CSV exports, I also want PDF. So I'm going to type, let me add PDF exports on top of CSV. And you'll see it's going to, export, do its thing, and then it's going to re-show the plan. And then what is going to happen is you can then accept the plan, and that's when it's actually going to go ahead and build. So here's the updated plan. You can see it building as it goes, and it's like, cool, this all looks good. Basically it's saying, yes, we can create PDFs. So I'm gonna go ahead and approve. And now we wait, because this is where it's gonna take probably 2 to 3 minutes to build, but I guess we'll actually see on my little counter over there how long it actually does take. But generally speaking, that's been my experience. Woohoo! All right, so our app is officially done. I don't know how long that was. Just gonna let the stopwatch run, but I think it was a little over, it was about 3 or 4 minutes. So let's dive in and see how well it did. So design is okay. And what I want to tell you about design is if you have a look that you want to replicate, whether it's an app that you already use or that you like, you can just screenshot it and send it, or you can actually come into either Drupal with 3Bs or Behance, and you can look at, you know, some of the different looks in here and say, oh, I like that, and screenshot it, and Lovable will be able to not entirely replicate it, but at least, again, I really like this one actually, so I'm just gonna put that one in there and save it for later. But first things first, I want to see how this is. Now, you can create your sales pages in here if you want. I'm not going to focus on that for today, but I'm just going to go to start tracking revenue. So it's going to take to a very basic sign up page. That's totally okay, right? And then I want to see all of the pages that I built. So it looks like it's enabled the cloud. It hasn't built everything. Okay. Page is built. Okay, now. Okay. And what's cool is when you ask a question and it's in the middle of something, it will put it in the queue, and then once it's done, it will automatically push it up from the queue. All right, so see, is everything built and ready? Yes, it is. All right, there's all my pages. So you click up here and you can see all the pages that have been built. So let's go to the dashboard. All right, great. So this is all made up. These are not real because it's not connected to anything. And so it's gonna load some broadcasts. So we'll see, okay, do we like this? Do we not like this? How are we feeling? And I already know a few things that I would wanna change. All right, so it's gonna show no broadcast yet, which is totally fine. And it's gonna encourage me to actually connect to Kit, which is an email marketing software. So let's check the settings to make sure that the integrations portion is, oh, it's under integrations, Jordan, duh. And essentially you would just plug in Kit, plug in ThriveCart, and once you do, then again, it will flash connected, which is great. Now, with any integrations, you wanna make sure that these are technically called secrets, where I can't look up somebody's Kit, you know, account information and go mess with their Kit. So you wanna make sure that those are secrets, and where those live is you go into cloud and you come down to secrets, and those are where you hold your API keys. Now, an API key is just a phone number to a software. So say again, you wanna call over to Kit and say, hey, I want you to do something. That's how you do it, is through an API key or a software phone number. And so from there, let's go back to the pages. There's two parts to this. There's a link generator, and then there's a dashboard of the analytics. So this is the link generator. Now, I'm gonna show you how I would change this right now, so it's just super clear. It can't possibly pull the broadcast in because we haven't sent the broadcast email from Kit. So instead of that, I wanna say, you know, I can't add the broadcast in to the generated tracked link. However, I want to add parameters, which is just means I want to add a little section to the end of the URL. Parameters for subject line and subscriber email at the end of the destination URL. So very non-techie language except for parameters. But for you may not know how that all works in Kit. So you may just say, hey, I don't actually want to add the broadcast to it. I just want to know the subject line of the email so I can track that, and also the subscriber email. How do you do that? And Lovable would be able to do that. So here it is. It's creating the URL parameter integration, and you'll see it change. So right now it's destination URL and broadcast. And let's see what it looks like after the change. And it shouldn't take too much longer. I am using Whole Foods Wi-Fi, which apparently is slow. So Whole Foods, get it together. Okay, they did it wrong. I don't want to add those pieces of information. Those are from, these should be like for Kit to add my subscriber email using not I add to it. All right, I'm going to pull up an old link and essentially generate. So again, I don't want to have to add that information. Great. So it will show, and again, I don't have my domain, but it'll be whatever your actual domain is for your micro tool. So I'm just going to enter this, and I'm going to say I want the subject line and the subscriber email. So I'm going to generate, I'm going to generate a tracked link. And again, when things go wrong, you literally just tell Lovable, hey, this isn't working. And it should mess with it. Now you'll also notice what's great is it will let you know Kit will automatically fill these using liquid tags when the email is sent. So it always adds like little helper text and little ways to make it easier for your people, which is really great because you want to make it super non-techie friendly for your micro tools. I'm gonna see if it'll just set up a preview for me since I don't feel like going through the whole login process right now. So as it's doing that, I'm gonna poke around actually into the dashboard, and I'm gonna show you again what I'm gonna add to the queue. So in the dashboard page, I wanna be able to switch it so I can see the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or custom dates. So for the dashboard page, I want to be able to filter by date. Again, it's in the queue, which means it will get to it after it finishes the first thing I told it to do, which is great. So all right, so it doesn't want me to win, but I'll go back and forth a little bit more with it. But for the sake of time, I want to make sure the dashboard gets updated. And again, maybe you have more analytics that you want to add to it and all of that sort of stuff. But what's cool is, again, I can sit here and watch, you know, a Survivor rerun while I'm doing this by car in the Whole Foods parking lot. It doesn't take a ton of focus, as you can tell. I can eat my sweet treat. I can people watch, because that's always crazy out here. So what I love about it is it's super flexible to just what time and crevices that you have in order to build and actually make this happen. And again, I would say find a faster Wi-Fi, ideally, because as you can see, it's making changes. But if we were on my home Wi-Fi, we'd be a little bit faster, folks. There you go. All right. So now we see filter by date, from, and to. So that way I can see for any time period what's going on there. All right, and then basically that's it. Like, the actual app is done. I can upload, you know, a screenshot of, I'll do this while I'm talking. Can you patch? All right, we'll see if the design does better. But basically you can walk through and do all of this. Something I also want to note is you can send custom emails from your brand's email address. It's very easy. All you have to do is sign into your Cloudflare or wherever your domain is, and Lovable will literally just connect to the DNS and create the right, you know, little shindig in there, which is awesome. Also, for users, you can set up a bunch of different ways to have people log in. It can be just through regular good old email. It could be through Google authentication, Apple accounts, phone number. I don't suggest phone number because it's more expensive. But it all is set up for you inside of here. You don't really have to know a ton about what you are trying to accomplish, because you can just, again, chat with Lovable and it will handle it for you. It'll even do a lot of those security things that if people are building in Claude or otherwise, you have to know these things in order for them to be built into your apps. So just a heads up on that front. So those are some things to note. And then again, Lovable is actually playing around with built-in payments. I have not played with it yet. This is very recent, in the last like week or so. And so you can definitely dive into that if you want to take payments through Lovable, or you can actually connect and integrate ThriveCart, SamCart, whatever Kajabi payments, whatever you use for payments. You can actually just connect it to Lovable, and it will, once, you know, a payment is done, then it will actually create an account for somebody and can send them an email to, you know, create their password, like a traditional traditional app. Then there's security checks, which I also love because I don't want to have to keep track of this. I don't know about you. That's like the least sexy part. So, okay, so it's changing it up a little bit. And it kind of did take away my colors. So maybe it'll bring my colors back. But as you can see, the font's completely different. Again, it doesn't have a lot of the weird little icons and stuff. And so, again, maybe I would want to input in there what colors I want, etc. But overall, this is done, friends. So what's cool is at this point, you essentially need to publish your app, which you can easily do by deciding what you want your Lovable app domain to be. Or if you want it to be a little more official, you can just add a custom domain. Again, make sure that your Namecheap or GoDaddy or whatever you have your domain in is already logged into your browser. And then you just add custom domain, say your domain, and it builds the whole thing for you. It connects it. And honestly, less than 10 minutes, your custom domain is ready to go. And then essentially you start playing with it and testing it. But I could test and play with it for a little while and then launch it tomorrow or the next day. Like, this is how fast and speedy. It's under 30 minutes. That's what I wanted. So I say all that to say, if you're looking to actually build micro tools and you want my prompts, you want help taking your ideas or your intellectual property and actually putting it into a Lovable prompt to actually build out. If you want support with, I don't know how to prompt it through integrating with the tools I want to integrate with, all those things are things that I help support folks with in my Build and Chill micro tool. It's essentially a micro tool within a micro tool. Very meta, but very helpful. So if you want to check that out, you can go to buildandchill.ai and it has all the information in there. You can also send me a DM on Instagram and ask questions. But I just truly believe that online business owners, each one of y'all, should have a micro tool, because there's no reason why you can't sit for 30 minutes and build something out that is highly perceived by your audience, because generally speaking, SaaS and software is always known to be like hard, because you usually need a development team, you usually need, you know, capital, all those things. And again, I pretty much build exclusively on the $50 a month plan for Lovable, and that's enough to host, I think I have 8 technically active micro tools right now. Some are for my own usage, and then 4 of them are public, and that's plenty. $50 a month is plenty. I don't run out of credit. So I wanted to show this off. If there is another type of tool that you would love for me to demo, just let me know down in the comments. I'd love to get some ideas. But yeah, I just wanted to show you really how simple and fast it really can be. So I hope you enjoyed this. Just built a whole app in the parking lot of Whole Foods, and I'll see you on the next one.